How to choose a domain name and blog hosting company. Choosing your domain, your web host and your hosting plan will define your blog for months to come, and it could be the difference between success and failure. Many first-time bloggers rush into this process and end up with a domain that doesn't tick any boxes, a host that is either too expensive or too inefficient, and, as a result, a blog that is destined to fail. So, take your time and read this chapter through before you get out your credit card and take a leap towards starting your own blog. The majority of first-timers are of the belief that a good domain is one that matches their name or brand and one that is cheap. After all, a domain is just a domain, right? Well, not quite. Your domain needs to be catchy and relevant, and if possible, it should also contain a useful keyword or phrase. This website is a good example of that. If someone wants to know how to create their own blog, they might type "how to start a blog" into Google. And because that's the name of this site, because it's in the domain and because it's a keyword that features throughout this guide, there's a good chance this will be the first site they see. The important thing to remember is that it should not be a case of your domain matching your name, but your name matching your domain. In other words, the domain should come before the name. So, think of something that makes sense to your blog and the industry you're in. Think of something that contains a good keyword or two, and then use that as your domain. If you can get your main keyword in your domain and your title, then you're off to a brilliant start. As for the place you buy your domain, they're not all the same. The domain itself will certainly be the same, but the service you get may not be, nor will the options for forwards, renewals, special offers and a number of other things. Price is important, but it's not everything. Do not put your trust in a company purely because you know them from their billboards or their Super Bowl commercials. We're thinking of one company in particular here. Shop around. That particular company has a huge market share, and because of that market share other companies are desperately reducing prices in order to attract custom and stay afloat. You can take advantage of that and scoop a very cheap domain. Just make sure you are dealing with a reputable company. A search on Google, Facebook or a review site will tell you all you need to know about that. In fact, if you were to ignore those high-budget ad campaigns and simply punch that company into Google and into review sites, you will discover that Super Bowl commercials and testimonials aside, they don't have the best reputation for quality, price or service. It's all about brand power. Heinz may not have the best tasting baked beans, Kleenex may not be the best tissues, and Band-Aid may not be the only sticky plaster. But those are the companies we associate with that product, so that's where we go when we need that product. As for the domain extension, it's always best to focus on .com. If you are outside the US, you should also pick up a domain that carries your country's extension, .co.uk in the UK, .ca in Canada, etc. And in many cases, if you choose the right supplier, you will be able to pick up a discount on this domain when you buy it alongside a .com domain. For instance, right now there is a major domain host in the UK offering a free .co.uk domain, for 1 year, for every purchase of a .com domain.